Hello and welcome back to G Fun Facts Online, where we dive into the science and tech shaping our world. Today, we're talking about an invisible war, a silent struggle happening right now, high above our heads and all around us. It's not fought with bullets, but with waves and signals. This is the battle for the digital high ground, and at its very center is a technology most of us use every single day, the Global Positioning System, or GPS. In modern warfare, GPS is the backbone. It guides soldiers, steers aircraft, and targets smart munitions with incredible precision. But this deep reliance has created a massive vulnerability, an Achilles heel that adversaries are getting very good at exploiting through electronic warfare. So how do you fight a war over invisible signals? It comes down to two key tactics: jamming and spoofing. While they sound similar, they are worlds apart in their method and their impact. First up is jamming, which is the brute force approach. Imagine you're trying to have a quiet conversation, but someone is standing next to you, shouting through a megaphone. You can't hear a thing. That's exactly what a GPS jammer does. It blasts out powerful radio noise on the same frequencies as the GPS satellites. These signals from the jammer are much stronger than the faint signals that have traveled over 20,000 kilometers from space. The result? The GPS receiver is overwhelmed, drowned out by the noise, and it can no longer figure out where it is. It's effectively blinded. But then there's spoofing. Spoofing is far more devious. Instead of just blocking the signal, a spoofer broadcasts its own fake GPS signals. These counterfeit signals are engineered to look just like the real thing, only stronger, tricking the receiver into locking onto them instead of the actual satellites. Once the spoofer has control, it can feed the system completely false location and time data. It can make a drone think it's somewhere else, or a ship believe it's in open water when it's heading for the rocks. It's the digital equivalent of secretly moving all the road signs to lead your enemy into an ambush. And this isn't just theory. It's happening right now. The war in Ukraine has become a massive testing ground for this kind of electronic warfare. Both sides are constantly using jamming and spoofing to take down enemy drones. In fact, Ukrainian forces have reportedly become so good at it that they've been able to redirect Russian drones, causing them to crash or fly completely off course. Since late 2023, spoofing incidents in the Black Sea and Eastern Europe have skyrocketed by an astonishing 500%. In the Middle East, the threat is just as real. On May 10, 2025, the massive container ship MSC Antonia ran aground near Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. An investigation confirmed the cause was GPS spoofing. Hostile actors had manipulated the ship's navigation data, tricking the crew and leading the vessel straight into the ground. And it's happening all over the world. Near India's borders with Pakistan and Myanmar, over 465 spoofing incidents were recorded in just a few months. Off the coast of South Korea, merchant ships have had their GPS disrupted by what's believed to be North Korean interference. The scary part is that this invisible war spills over into our daily lives. Thousands of commercial flights are disrupted every month, often as collateral damage from nearby military activity. When an airplane's GPS is spoofed, its flight management system can get completely scrambled, showing pilots confusing information and even triggering false terrain warnings at 30,000 feet. Between August 2021 and June 2024, there were over 580,000 recorded instances of GPS signal loss in global aviation. This escalating threat has kicked off a technological arms race to build more resilient systems. The goal is to achieve what the military calls assured positioning, navigation, and timing, or APNT, which basically means having a backup plan and a backup for the backup. One way is to make the GPS signals themselves tougher. Military GPS already uses encrypted M-code signals, which are harder to fake. The next generation of satellites will boost this anti-jamming protection by 60 times. Another defense is smarter antennas. These controlled reception pattern antennas can pinpoint where interference is coming from and essentially tune it out. focusing only on the real satellite signals. But the real future lies in not relying on GPS at all. Inertial navigation systems, or INS, are self-contained units that use gyroscopes and accelerometers to track movement. They don't need any external signals, so they can't be jammed or spoofed. The US Air Force is even experimenting with AI that can navigate an aircraft just by reading the Earth's magnetic fields. And new technologies like quantum navigation are on the horizon, alongside modern versions of old-school celestial navigation, using the stars to find your way. The silent war over GPS is a defining feature of our modern world. As these disruption technologies get cheaper and more widespread, relying on any single system is a recipe for disaster. The future of navigation, both for military and civilian life, is all about resilience through redundancy. Because in this unseen battle, the simple act of knowing where you are and being able to trust that information remains the most fundamental tool of all. Thanks for tuning in to G Fun Facts Online.